Hello and welcome to this short video. I think there are 3 key actions that you are not doing that will improve the quality of your written work and also improve the efficiency of it. And that's what I'd like to take you through in the next few minutes. My name's Penny Taylor and I'm one of the trainers at the Institution of Structural Engineers. I'm a chartered engineer and have been running courses on writing, communication and management for over 10 years now. All my courses are practical and interactive and are based around the lessons that I've learned through my time in the engineering industry, either by making mistakes myself or by watching the people in my team make mistakes and thinking about how things could be done differently. And that's what I'd like to share with you today. There are 3 key actions that I think you're probably not doing that will make a big difference to the quality and efficiency of everything that you write. The first thing is to do more planning. If you already do some planning, then I'd like you to do more. I've never yet seen anyone do enough planning. You'll probably spend a lot of time planning the work you're going to write about, whether it be calculations, testing, modelling, etc. But actually all that remains at the end of the day is the document that you've written about the work that you've done. You've probably come across the 5 Ps. Perfect planning prevents poor performance, and nowhere is that more true than when it comes to written work. I'd like you to plan in more detail, down to paragraph level, a lot of detail in terms of the skeleton outline for your document. This allows the important points to be accentuated early on. It gives flow to your document so the reader will read more, and it improves the clarity and consistency in the terminology, language, and format that you use. The third action is always to get your document proofread, because the fresh eyes will always see things that you don't see yourself, and glaring errors look very unprofessional. I want you to edit your document yourself, and you'll probably get to something like 90 or 95% correct, but you will never ever get to 100% correct. The proofreader doesn't correct things for you. What they do is they look at the document and they point out the errors, and then they give it you back so that you get the opportunity to put things right in your style. When I run face-to-face courses, I ask everyone who attends to bring examples of their own work. And a recent poll, about 50% of the documents I got to look at have a glaring error on the first page, and that doesn't make the work look professional. So let's have a look at your writing process. What I want to do here is draw a graph of how you write. So across the bottom I've got an axis that's time. Up the side I've got an axis that's effort. And the star here represents the deadline for your document. So you have a certain amount of effort to put in and a deadline when this document has to be produced. And I'm pretty sure that most of the time this red line is what actually happens. Having watched people produce documents, engineers are generally not very keen on writing, so they tend to put it off. And I'm sure you've told yourself all these excuses, reasons for procrastination, such as there's lots of time before the deadline, it won't take me very long to do, I'm far too busy right at this moment. And so what happens is we probably miss the deadline and have to put a lot more time and effort in than would really be recognised. And also the end produce, the document that we've written, is not as good as it should be. So in future, I would like you to think about working this way. So whatever time you have between now and your deadline, divide it into 4. And of those 4 sections, I would like your graph to look like this. Those 4 sections are taken up with planning, a lot more planning than you do at the moment. Then writing. So all you're doing when you're writing the document now is expanding the bullet points in your plan into a paragraph. And then the third section is the editing, which is the putting it right. And the fourth quarter that we've not filled in here is the opportunity for proofreading and reviewing. So the proofreader will point out the errors that you then put right, and the reviewer will look for the technical accuracy and anything that might be commercially confidential and make sure the document meets any contractual obligations. So what does a good plan look like, and how do you go about putting one together? First of all, use a template or set one up. Often you're given a template by your client or from your company. Then I'd like you to identify the key headings, the main sections that you're going to have in this structure, and number them, put them in order. Then, under each of those sections, you list a bullet point that's going to be included in each of those sections. So these are the main points you want to make. You then sort those bullet points into a logical order, giving your document the right flow. And you plan in tables and figures, which you then identify and reference. So a complete plan for a document has all the headings, all the subheadings, one bullet point for each paragraph, and all the tables and figures are included. So a complete plan is a complete skeleton for your document. Then you get to the writing stage where you write in the paragraphs, which are a lead sentence, which will get your reader's attention, the body of the paragraph, 2 to 5 sentences to make your point, and a concluding sentence that wraps it all together, and you then link all the paragraphs so that the text flows and it makes it easy for your reader to move from one paragraph to the next. Engineers are particularly bad at proofreading. Engineers, mathematicians and scientists are particularly bad at proofreading because we don't read things in detail. We read the first few sentences, first few words of a sentence, and then make assumptions about what's going to come next. And this means that you're already leaping to conclusions about what the next word's going to be, whether that's the word that's written down or not. And you may well know that when you've written something, your mind will see what you intended to write, not what you've actually written. So I'm pretty sure that you can read this slide quite easily, and then when you look at it in detail, you'll notice that every word is spelt incorrectly. And this is an example of why it's so easy for you to read things that are spelt incorrectly. About 55% of native English speakers can read this without too much problem, and those will be the scientists, the engineers, the mathematicians. The other percentage of the population will be the social scientists, because their brains work differently. They're the ones who read each word the way it's actually written, and they are particularly good at proofreading. So if you can find one of them to proofread for your work, that's ideal. But you should always, always, always get fresh eyes to look over your document before you issue it. So in summary, there are 3 new habits that I'd like you to practice. First of all, do more planning. If you do nothing else after watching this video, please plan more for your written work. It will mean that you're writing things that are appropriate for the audience, and you're less likely to waste time and effort by writing things that you then throw away. Plan in more detail, plan down to paragraph level, so that you get a consistent message throughout your document. And always get your document proofread, as the fresh eyes will always see things that you don't. So do these 3 simple things to improve the quality and efficiency in everything you write. If you'd like to know more details about how to further improve your writing skills, I'm running 2 courses at the iStructE. We're doing an online course on the 9th of November due to COVID, and then we're hoping to do a face-to-face course back at Bastrick Street on the 3rd of March 2021. Both these courses are up on the iStructE website and ready for booking. If you'd like any further information about anything else I've said here, My email address is at the bottom of this slide.